song really come start shutting down and start killing people, then that's when that reality gonna hit. Then you're gonna be trying to scramble around and find some faith like under a couch or something. When you got to do that now, it's better to be prepared now than not to be. Right? Eventually go over these scenarios. Look, the Lord, brothers got families, right? You want the Lord to protect your families, and guess what? The Lord can protect your families if you're to play. But you better play out those scenarios in your mind that you very well may lose them. Because if you got a solely in your mind, my children are fine, or my father, my mother, all of them gonna be fine. I'm good. But then the Most High take them, or He takes one of them. You may bug out. Right. What? Because you already had in your mind that this is what the Lord can do. You gotta. It's best to expect the worst. Put it that way. Expect the worst, but hoping for the best. Because if it actually happens mentally, you already prepared. Okay, like it's just me personally. If I decide to deal with a woman or whatever, in my mind, put it this way, I'm gonna have my standards. I'm gonna have my not standards. I'm gonna have my expectations low. All right, in my mind, I may just already say, she's a hoe. Even though she's with me, when we not together, she could be. So I'll put it this way, when or if you find out, it's gonna be like less of a blow because you're already prepared. You mentioned about prepping for a punch or somebody punch you. You get that time to prep. That's just how I do things. And that's just, it ain't like I'm gonna treat it different or whatever. But I would just do that to prepare myself for the news when I get it. So that's just being smart. And guess what? The scriptures teach you to be that way. They say, he that buyeth, be in the mindset that he may not reap. Or he that soweth, be in the mindset that he may not reap. They that marry, that they may not have children. They that have a business, whatever, that they may not prosper or see that goal that they want to reach. Meaning, in your mind, you always saying, all right, I'm going to keep pushing for more. I'm going to go ahead and sow these seeds, and I'm going to reap it when the time comes. But if the time comes, well, I got to let it go. I got to let it go. All right? So it says, think upon the wrath that shall be at the end, and the time of vengeance when he shall turn away his face. When thou hast enough, remember the time of hunger. And when thou art rich, think upon poverty and need. Right? So when you have enough, you remember hunger. You remember that. Because then you may be more smart with your money. Right? You got to remember, like, damn, man, I remember when I couldn't eat. And we was all at that point before, where all of our meals was McDonald's. We'll be hanging out. I'm like, look, I got $3. All right, cool, I can get 2 burgers. That was like our food back then. You got a little chunk change, So then you get to a point now where you got some money. You like, okay, I got more than $2-3 now. But you got to remember that. Put yourself in remember, like, okay, I remember, because that way you don't spend up, use your money up willfully. You remember to save. That's another thing. If you're not disciplined, especially at a young age, you don't know the importance of saving. You don't know it. You gotta learn that the hard way. Okay, yeah, car running cool, everything cool. You still gotta, stash some away just in case, because you gotta remember. You just can't be like, oh, I'm good. Car accident. Now what you was left with? Now you waiting for insurance or whatever while you sitting there with nothing. Because in your mind you thinking, damn, I thought. I'm not saying every situation you could do that, but that's how you're supposed to think. You gotta be taught those things. It's just being smart. So when Israel was after a while, what happened? Jacob forgot, and they started to go off. So then the Most High fulfilled His side of His word, and He brings the hell upon us, and that's justified. So a lot of you people today, y'all don't even know why you're in your situation. Okay, you look at us as fools, you look at us like we don't know, but that's really how the Most High wanted anyway. But we're here to tell you things you crying and sighing all about. You wanted to go vote for right. You want to cry that the left is doing this, the right, this person, that person. You don't even know that you're caught in a political game. And you don't even understand that, like Malcolm X deemed, especially so-called black people, he deemed y'all as political footballs, right? And because they just playing with your emotions. All right, it's time to go to politics. All right, we got to go get the nigger vote, right? Okay, let's go over there and play with their emotions. Okay, then this guy play with your emotions, and they just pass your emotions around, but nobody actually cares. You understand? Nobody actually cares about you. Right? You're just being used.
I had a quick one. This is Ecclesiasticus chapter 2, verse 1. My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. Set thy heart aright and constantly endure, and make not haste in a time of trouble.
Ray Jones.
Verse 3, cleave unto him, and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end. Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, and be patient with our change to a low estate. Right, I'll bring it down. Yeah, so.
Would you read that again, bro? Can I hear that again?
I
hear that again.
I'll read it again, bro.
Speak wrong. God, speaking. I'm listening to you.
We're not a fan of the smoking if you don't mind.
I apologize, but you can read that again. That's what you mentioned.
That's how you
Get out of
can
here.
read it. He just
And that would turn me from the world.
he just
That's
asked
your- that's your addition.
he just asking for space, brother. That's all.
I apologize. Let me bag back. But guess what?
Yeah,
Would
you
you
do
read
that.
that again?
Go ahead.
This is Ecclesiastes chapter 2. Quiet. Quiet, bro.
Just read it.
I'm reading. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 2 and verse 1. My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. Set thy heart aright and constantly endure, and make not haste in the time of trouble. Right, so you gotta set your heart aright and constantly endure, and make not haste in the time of trouble. Right, because
I apologize, brother.
how like the brother was saying, hey, we go through all type of affliction, you know, especially being an Israelite, you know, because the Lord is chastising us for what we done. That's the reason why we over here in America, you know. So you say you gotta set your heart right and constantly endure, you know. For when that hell come, you gotta endure it. You can't just bug out, right?
Yeah, this says don't make haste in the time of trouble. Meaning you like I'm out. That's it for me.
Haste, man. Like you said, I don't want to deal with this.
Exactly. Like you
endure.
you want to serve the Lord, but then
I
you.
want to hear what he got to say to me, because it was meant for you to tell me. I want to hear it
All right, go ahead.
with the tongue of Jah.
Says verse 3, cleave unto him and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end. Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, and be patient with our change to a low estate. Gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. All right, so it says gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. Right? So yeah, so the Lord is refining us as gold. You know what I'm saying?
I want you to explain that to me, because guess what? I wanted to hear it from you.
He just explained it.
God is awesome. Mighty God. Praise is due to the Most High God, Yah, His Son Yahshua.
Those
I'm
not really the names, but
I'm a sinner, but praise is due to the Most High God.
Man, get out of
Who
here.
I am. I know my motherfucking ancestors was slaves. I know this.
Man,
Right.
ignore that nigga.
So yeah.
Step up on me.
So yeah, you don't make haste in the time of trouble, meaning you like, all right, that's it, I had enough. You do realize, okay, the moment you tell the Lord is always looking for somebody to do this work, always. So if you say, Lord, I want to serve you, anybody can say that. Anybody can say, I love you. We're gonna put you to the test. Lord gonna say, well, you know, I see he really like this woman or whatever. Let me put the spirit on her, you know, go away or whatever. Let's see where he sees that. I'm like, I see this brother really cool with his little peoples. Let's see if he still love me if his own people come against him, you know, and he sit by himself for a little bit and he getting tried. Guess what? It say don't make haste, meaning you like, well, I'm done. I can't deal with this. I'm gonna go back to my family. I'm going back to the Christian church, you know, because you're gonna find out that the only time, mostly your woman or whatever, especially if you got children, want to start going to the church is when you start teaching your child the truth. Now all of a sudden they want to go to the Christian church. Now all of a sudden they want to go this and they want either take your children or take you with them. Now all of a sudden, right? And if you actually had guys like that said, oh, my mama don't like the fact that I'm in the church. Can't do it. Got to go to the Christian church because my mama. That's the Most High saying, yep, he was full of it. He was full of it. He was full of it. So it says, you know, think to be patient.
Yeah, you gotta be patient around niggas like that came up here.
I got a precept real quick. Thought he was gonna stay.
Yeah.
This is Ecclesiastes 5 and verse 1. Keep thy foot when thou goest to the house of Yahweh, and be more ready to hear than to give the sacrifice of fools, for they consider not that they do evil.
Yeah, so that discipline always must be landed or established. You gotta be more ready to hear it because, you know, Jake always think they got knowledge. Always think they got knowledge. So a lot of them, when they come up, they want to just spew it. They gotta understand how a church operates its order.
Talking about some read that, nigga.
You just can't walk into a church and just start without the little teaching, without the little
And he's smoking too. Did y'all tell you to smoke, nigga? Is y'all cool with you smoking?
Had a precept the judges. How we was talking about how Israel, you know.
Yeah, it's like it, bro. And then like the nigga was taunting me. I want to hear it from him. I want to hear it from him. Yeah. Hey. I'm all praise to you. How about Shemir Shah? If he would have stayed up here, I probably would have hit his ass.
How Israel, you know, get lackadaisical and start going off.
That guy, he wasn't going to. He just, I guess he's intoxicated. I mean, he may be a little intoxicated. He's smoking reefer, which that won't really get you. But a guy like that, he probably just happy to see us out here, and he want to kind of spew his knowledge or whatever. He's got to be checked or something. It wouldn't have went that far. Okay, so
This is
go ahead. I'll probably remember.
There was still a little bit left from Judges too.
Okay.
This is Psalm chapter 106, and I'll start at verse 6. We have sinned with our fathers, we have committed iniquity, we have done wickedly. Our fathers understood not thy wonders in Egypt, they remember not the multitude of thy mercies, but provoked him at the sea, even at the Red Sea.
Man, you do realize Israel was going off, man. The second they stood foot on that land, and the second, man, that's how you know the Lord had to, you know, jack them up, because her the Lord just took us from the land of Egypt. No, you straight, this is good. We walked through the sea, right? That's how you know Jake easily, you can say, influenced off of fear. What happened when we walked out of Egypt and the Most High smoked the Egyptians? The Egyptians said what? Let's go get these things. What happened when Israel saw them afar off? Well, yeah, we gonna die. You should have just left us there. Moses said, we're gonna split the sea through the power of the Lord. When we made it across and destroyed them, we rejoiced, we got happy. The moment, I'm talking about the second Israel's stomach started growling, they all started murmuring, man. Not all of them, but murmuring. You had the mixed multitude in there, which they got destroyed. In fact, we're gonna touch on that. They started murmuring, man. The second they got thirsty, murmuring, right? The second they saw the giants and the other nations, oh, we should have just stayed. Man, the Most High literally had to bear with us. You understand? Moses had to plead with the Most High, like, don't destroy them, because if you do, then the other nations gonna mock us, you know, and all this other stuff. And that's why when we went through the wilderness, after that 40 years, that was to drive out all kill off all the disobedient, rebellious ones. And you know, there's a lot of women in it too. You know, man, you know all that was women. You know, all it takes, and you got a lot of men that was a mama's boy. All it takes is your wife to say, we ain't got no food. We spent all the food. And you like, yeah, we ain't got no food. Get Moses, you know what I'm saying? That's all it takes. And the Most High made sure they was all out of there, man. They didn't make it. Okay?
Nevertheless, he saved them for his name's sake, that he might make his mighty power to be known. He rebuked the Red Sea also, and it was dried up. So he led them through the depths as through the wilderness, and he saved them from the hand of him that hated them, and redeemed them from the hand of the enemy. I'll jump down to verse 12. Then believed they his words, they sang his praises. They soon forget his works. They waited not for his counsel, but lusted exceedingly in the wilderness and tempted Yahweh in the desert.
See how there's that word forget again. You forget. You know, they forget. Like you got all these. A good example to what I'm talking about. You got all these rappers, right? They living a hard life. Everything sucks for them until somebody give them an opportunity to rap, and then they just forget everything. They done blew up. They on stage. They done forgot where they came from. They forgot what it's like to be poor. So they just living this fast life until Esau gets them one day, killing people until Esau put his hands on them, and now all of a sudden it's Bobby Shmurda. What happened to him? Locked up. He had a very short season. Chief Keef.
Chief Keef. See, he said Chief.
Same thing. Living that fast life, everything all good. They forgot that they
Tekashi sounds like you, bro. Tekashi 6ix9ine. That's who you thinking.
that nigga too.
Yeah.
They forget. All right? You forgot what it means to be, you say, blessed with having that money coming, even though you just being used by Esau. But you should have been smart with it. You forgot, like, yeah, man, I'm just glad I'm able to come up and, you know, make a better life for myself and my family. You know what I'm saying? I'm just using this to get a little more. Then eventually, you forgot. So what happens is you continue to do bad things, you continue, and then you find yourself in a hole in a ditch somewhere. Like I always say, those guys, Tekashi 69, Chief Keef, Bobby Shmurda, you're better off not being rich, because at least they'll be alive. You know, or at least they'll be free. You're better off not coming up into that money if you're gonna forget where you came from. That's why the scripture says when you pretty much in your youth, when you become somebody, don't forget your parents. Don't forget where you came from.
Tekashi 6ix9ine, he just got out, so he free now.
Yeah, because he did a lot of snitching. So,
So
wailing like a horse.
yeah, I think probably getting locked up would have been better than snitching. You know, because you know your honor